My name is Connor, and Bryan Johnson saved my life. This is me, just over a year ago, weighing in at around 270 pounds. I struggled to chase my kids around, I got out of breath easily, and I grappled heavily with depression. I worked late hours on side projects and I pushed myself really hard. My mindset was, if I just gave a little more, sacrifice a little more now, tomorrow would be better. I clung to that old saying, sacrifice now for a better tomorrow. On paper, it seemed to be working. I was making progress on my side projects, succeeding at work, but inside, I was dying. There were days when depression just felt so debilitating that I could barely get out of bed. I'd call in sick, just feeling utterly incapable of functioning. Exercise was non-existent, and I stress ate constantly. It all showed. That's when I discovered Bryan Johnson. I watched a lot of YouTube, and I'd seen countless gurus preaching to just push through. But Bryan was different. In many videos, he openly discussed his struggles with depression and how he overcame them. Bryan talks about 3 pillars: diet, good sleep, and exercise. 3 fundamental aspects of good health, and I was failing at all of them. Then one day I had an epiphany. Every time depression hit, I'd think something was wrong with me, that I was broken. I had hobbies, passions, projects, yet when darkness struck, nothing felt fun. Everything just came crashing down. The realization was that I was setting myself up for failure. How could I expect to feel good day in and day out when my sleeping patterns, my eating habits, and my lack of exercise were literally killing me slowly? I had ballooned from a fairly fit 180, 190 pounds to over 270. Chasing my kids was a challenge, sleep was restless, and to comfort myself, I'd often eat out. Burgers, fried foods, you name it. I'd stuff myself, feel guilty, and then repeat that same destructive cycle the next day. I was in a destructive loop of my own making. And seeing Bryan Johnson, knowing that he too struggled with depression and he made it out, gave me hope. His approach wasn't the typical do it or else. From watching his videos and following his socials, his mission felt compassionate. And in the moment, that's something that I needed. Something clicked inside. There's tons of people out there that just say, just do it. But for me, the turning point was Bryan when he said, it's okay. It's hard to be human. You are not the misery that you feel inside. You can make small baby steps. That meant everything to me. It wasn't about an overnight transformation. Every day is a decision, a step on the ladder towards being better. One thing that Bryan says that I tell myself daily is don't let the 20% rascal win. 80% of the time, I make good, healthy decisions, but the other 20% can drag me down a dark hole. Every day is a struggle. I have the option to eat poorly, skip sleep, or not exercise, but the goal is to contain that 20% rascal. Fast forward a year and I've lost over 80 pounds and gained a decent amount of muscle. I'm still trying to gain more, but I couldn't be happier. I went from puffing up the stairs to chasing my kids around for hours with ease. I've completely cut out sugar, actively eat healthier, and manage portions with my meals. Exercise is becoming a regular part of my life, and most nights I'm able to go to bed between 8 and 9 p.m. The results? I still struggle with depression occasionally, but symptoms are less severe and they don't last nearly as long. I find myself happier and able to think more clearly, and it's all because of those baby steps. Going to bed on time doesn't mean your side hustles or your side projects or your passions have to suffer either. I love games and have always wanted to learn how to make them. In the past, I'd start and stop repeatedly. Something always got in the way. Depression, life events, or some other excuse. Blueprint has helped me become disciplined with not just myself, but with my habits. Applying those same baby steps approach has worked wonders. I'm using those principles to pursue my passions. Taking small steps in learning game development means that I have time for my family, my interests, and still being able to get to bed on time. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I still make some mistakes, but progress isn't a switch that's either off or on. It's more like an oven. No matter where you are in your life, it's never too late to start your transformation. You turn the oven on and it slowly heats up. It takes time and you might accidentally switch it off now and again. But that doesn't mean that you've lost all of your progress. That's okay. Turn the oven back on and keep going. Keep striving to make gains, to make progress. I've named this channel BP Connor for my desire to create the best blueprint of myself that I can. If you're familiar with Unreal Engine, it also holds some significance there as well. If you're interested in Bryan Johnson's Blueprint Protocol or learning more about it, click the link in the description below. If you want to follow my journey, whether it's about blueprint, health, or game development, like and subscribe and stay tuned for future videos.